These are 12 styles of shirts that are just out of style. Now, some of them you'll definitely agree with me on, and then others you might want to argue, like this lace cami. This was so popular. Probably 10 years ago, people would wear them on their own, or it was a really good layering piece for cardigans and blazers. But now, I just think this looks very outdated. So throughout this video, I will be sharing what I think is out of style and then what some better options might be. But as always, this is just my opinion. No need to get worked up about this. Now, before I share the better option of this lace cami, I actually want to move on to number 2 because it's kind of similar. They are the cold shoulder spaghetti strap tops. So they're still camis. But I think by now, many of us are very well aware that anything cold shoulder is not good. However, these spaghetti strap cold shoulder tops somehow sneak in there, and not terrible. I think they're way better than the traditional cold shoulder tops and sweaters that we used to see more often, but I still don't think these are great. So better options for camis. If you like the lace things, like lacy things. I think these Free People tank tops, they're lacy, they're more flowy. I think this is much more on trend for this year and the foreseeable future. But if you just want some good layering pieces for those cardigans or blazers, or even just on their own, anything just smooth. This is one of my favorite tank tops where the bra is actually built into the tank top, but it's still so smoothing. I'll link these down below. They're phenomenal because you can wear them by themselves. You don't see any bra strap because everything's built in, or of course you can use it as layering pieces with your cardigans, your blazers, and your jackets. Next, we're gonna move on to some graphic tees, but I'm gonna get very specific with this because I think there are some really good options, but some really bad ones too. So let's start with the bad. We've got logo tees. So this is when brands kind of try to do free marketing with you. So we've got like Calvin Klein jeans, or Guess is a big one. There's so many of those. Old Navy. I even see it with brands like Diet Coke or Pepsi. And I just think this looks very tacky. I am not a fan at all. And then we have the fruit or food tops. And for some reason, this is just annoying to me. You'll see lemons or papayas or kiwis. Then sometimes you see things like hot dogs, or I don't know. This was kind of a thing. I just think it looks outdated and it's just not stylish at all. And then this last bad graphic t-shirt are flowers. Now this one doesn't bother me as much. I'm kind of torn on this. So comment down below, do you like this? It's when it's not like a floral pattern or anything like that. I feel like you wouldn't do that with a graphic t-shirt, but it's just like a flower graphic. It's better. I feel like it's better, but let's get to the good options, like the stylish options for graphic tees. The first being music band tees, but I think I mean more vintage bands. Like Fleetwood Mac is a perfect example. I think a lot of their t-shirts, whether they're new or old vintage t-shirts, are always going to look very stylish. You could do the Beatles, you could do Pink Floyd. I just love this if you're into music. But if you are more of a sporty person, then wearing a graphic sports tee will always be a good idea. So that could be football, basketball, hockey, anything. Just wear your favorite team. I do think the older vintage looking ones are probably more cool right now, but it doesn't have to be that. I think rocking a sports graphic t-shirt will always be cool and in style. Okay, last thing related to t-shirts. I know we spent a long time on graphic tees, but what about basic t-shirts? I think most people think if you're wearing a basic t-shirt, it's gonna always be classic and in style. And for the most part, yes, but I think there is one exception right now, and that is V-neck basic tees. 5-10 years ago, if you were a woman and you were wearing a graphic tee or a basic tee, it was probably a V-neck. I mean, that was really like the only thing that was popular. And now I think it's very unpopular. So I would say if you want to wear a basic t-shirt like I am right now, again, by itself, or it's always a great layering piece, you need to get on board with just the crew necks, like the higher neckline crew necks. It just looks more fresh. It looks more up to date. If you do want to add a little spice or interest, you could get one with like a color accent around the neckline and the sleeve. But for the most part, they're just basic crew neck plain t-shirts. I know a lot of you do love V-necks, and so I do want to suggest one that I think is actually really good. So here's an example of what I was talking about that I don't think is in style anymore. And then here is a V-neck where I do think this is good. It's a much more broad and wider V-neck. neck. Now, some people might not like this because you are showing more skin, but you see much more of the neckline. You can wear jewelry with it, and I do think this is way more in style. Real quick, if you are new here, or maybe you watch my videos from time to time and you're not yet subscribed, I would love for you to take 2 seconds and subscribe down below. It is totally free, and I would love to have you back. Okay, let's move on to a completely different style of shirt, one that I am calling cutout tops. So here are some examples of what I'm referring to. Maybe you have some of these tops, maybe you don't, but it's when there are kind of like weird cutout sections of the shirt. Sometimes in the chest, that might be a little alluring. Sometimes you see it down the arm. There's a lot of different versions of these shirts, and I just don't think they're in style anymore at all. I don't think they're a good option, but I like the idea of them. I think it's just to kind of, you know, give a little bit more appeal. It kind of shows some skin in some unexpected areas, which can be kind of nice. And so I think a better option would be these mesh tops. I have recommended these before. I just get them from Amazon. I have them in several colors. My favorite is black. They're so versatile in my opinion. I actually have them in short sleeve and long sleeve, but to me, this is much more in style right now. There's no weird cutouts, but you still see a little bit of skin. It's that little preview of skin that can be very, very flattering and feminine. Okay, let's move on to cowl neck tops. I hate saying that word. I think most people agree that cowl neck sweaters are out of style, but I still see them every once in a while in tops. And if you don't even know what a cowl neck is, it's where the material is very droopy at the neckline, like in the chest area. Here are some examples of what I'm talking about. I feel like it honestly would be a good work shirt, depending on how low cut it goes, but this is just really a good example of, it's not a terrible design. Like, you know, some of these other things I'm showing you just actually look stupid. This doesn't. It's just more, I don't think it's like in style anymore. And at the end of the day, who cares? I say this over and over again. But I think mock neck tops still kind of give that similar vibe where there is a little droopiness of the material, but the mock neck comes up a little bit higher. It just, again, looks more in for 2025 and more fresh, a little more youthful. I think this is just a better option right now. Now for this next one, I really think most of you are probably gonna agree with me on it. I think, fingers crossed. So we've got cheesy camo. Maybe you don't even know what I mean by that. This is what I mean by that, okay? This is camo that looks so cheesy, fake, tacky. It's like weird colors of camo, but it doesn't even have to be weird colors like pink and purple. It could be just actual camo that looks almost cartoonish. It's cheesy. I don't think this is good. Even though camo right now for 2025 is very in style, but it's a more natural, more realistic camo. So these to me are way better. I love this from Abercrombie, like this style. I have the crew neck sweatshirt and the matching sweatpants. I know it's not everybody's thing, but if you are a fan of camo and want to rock that pattern, these are way better. Ooh, speaking of cheesy, we're gonna move on to cheesy patriotic tops or USA tops, okay? This is an example of very cheesy, like USA, go America. I mean, I know not a lot of you aren't even from the USA, but if you are, around the summertime, 4th of July, Memorial Day, like these tops could be cool, but this looks so out of style. But you can actually wear things that are so chic and in style that say USA or have, you know, patriotic vibes, like the examples you're seeing here. These are so much better. They're so in style. I feel like they look so elevated. They kind of look expensive. I love these options and I love wearing them. Now this next one, I actually don't have a better option. I just think it's bad and I want to make you aware of it. So it's what I'm calling crossover tops. Now I have talked about this in regards to dresses, where it's again that crossover design where the material kind of crosses over itself. Like I understand the purpose, it's supposed to make the dress fit you a little bit better, but I see it more in older, mature dresses. And so to me, it just makes you look older, and it's crossing over to the tops, like crossover tops. I see this in more mature tops where like this is just such a good example. I know like a younger lady is wearing it, but it makes her look so much older. And so I think you should just maybe stay away from it. Okay, now this one, I do have a better suggestion. But first, let's talk about the bad. Bad, out of style shirt are smocked tops. And I didn't even really know this shirt is a smocked top. I didn't even know that's what it meant, but it's where it's kind of drapey and loose and flowy, but then it gets tighter at the waistline. And so it's just an out of style shirt. Like I really think this is dated. So to me, a better, more in style option would be this floral top. It doesn't have to be this specific one. I can link this one below. I got it from Amazon. I love it to pieces, but anything that's similar to this would be just fine. So this top is flowy all over. And so to me, this is so much more versatile. It hides problem areas. It looks really nice. It's stylish. But if you do want to tuck it in and give it a more fitted look, you can do that and it still looks just as good. So to me, much better option. Everything good in this video, I will have linked down below in the description box and also pinned in the top comment, but I think you should head over to this video next. This is where I'm sharing so many viral Amazon bestsellers that are actually worth it. Like these are really good. I'm proud of this video, so I'll see you over there.